Peace, family. Welcome back to the health class you never had. This is the Collective Health Initiative, episode 6. We are here with Ketnu Nefer,
Greetings.
Master Reshep, Precious Mother Love, and myself, Dr. Yu. We want to give a special shout out to our members who are not here joining us this AM in the physical presence. Mommy Elaine, and Clarice and Safan, who are usually with us on the broadcast. They couldn't make it this AM, so we're sending our love and our energy to them. But we have a very special episode today. We're featuring Master Reshep and we're featuring Precious Mother Love. So we're going to get a little deeper into what it is that they actually do, what they offer, how that can benefit you. And for those who tuned in last week, you may know that we had some technical difficulties, and Ketnu Nefer's portion was cut off. So we will be redoing that for her in one of the subsequent episodes, so definitely stay tuned for that. But right now we're going to just jump into this episode, and we're going to start with Master Reshep. Master Reshep is our Kemetic metaphysical warrior priest, as he refers to himself. He is the vehicle of the creation of the heart touch therapy. He is very profound in dealing with meditation, dealing with crystals and gemstones, breath work, so much different things that he offers. So we're going to jump into Master Reshep's work. And I'm going to start out just by asking you, first and foremost, are there any things that I left out that you would like to use to describe yourself?
Actually, that's about it. Everything else is just mere details.
All right.
In fact, the Kemetic metaphysical warrior priest, in a sense, kind of sums it up. And just for those who may not be familiar, being as though, in fact, my person was not familiar with the term when it first came from spirit. Kemetic metaphysical warrior priest. What is that? What is, and spirit just says that's how you're operating right now. If you reflect back your journey, this is what's happening with you. And as my person reflected back, it made sense, being that my person has spent a lot of time studying ancient Egypt, Kemet, as it's commonly called, the philosophy on life, the universe, God, man, nature, and the connection between those things. So, which is, in general, again, metaphysics in and of itself.
Absolutely.
As my person like to say that life in and of itself is metaphysical. All of us go through every day. We experience some form of metaphysics when we come into a room or we feel somebody's vibe.
Right.
So, my person just saying from a metaphysical perspective, it's rooted back in the Kemetic, ancient Egyptian way of looking at things. And the warrior priest just comes back down to my person, goes hard for God.
All right. All right.
Yeah, go hard with the discipline, committed discipline. We train like a warrior. Lifestyle like a warrior, the discipline, so that my person can actually realize through his experience of, that we say that as a child of God, how to become a God. So as a child of God, what does it look like? So this Kemetic metaphysical warrior priest, in a nutshell, that simply identifies myself as one who goes hard to not just realize as a child of God, but how to go from a child of God to a man of God. Because just like any child, any offspring, they possess the same characteristics of their parent. So metaphysically speaking, spiritually speaking, as a child of God, how do my person come to the point where we can access those same powers of God and use them in a practical, everyday way of living?
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Great explanation. So as a Kemetic metaphysical warrior priest, how do you utilize that to benefit other people who come across your way?
Excellent question. Generally speaking, my person assists individuals with those who are believers, first of all. When we say believers, just those who believe that there is a higher power and that we are an extension or a product of that higher power, whether it be called God, Allah, or, spiritual community, whatever your association, if you believe that there's a higher power, you're a product of that, then that's my person's audience. And so how does my person's lifestyle, the Comedic Medical Warrior Priest, assist individuals who are somewhat believers, is that cultivating a lifestyle of peace, of relaxation, of just simple peace, so much so that one cultivates the peace of God that passes all understanding, so that no matter what aspect, what area of life one is looking to, one is called to do, one just shows up in peace and able to perform what needs to be performed in that moment. And how my person assists those individuals, generally speaking, is by understanding our inner chi system. Commonly called energy. My person calls it inner chi. It has been taught from the masters that taught my person is that our inner chi, the energy that we have, the chakras, our meridian system, nonetheless, is the bridge between this God, the all-power God, the creator of the universe, and us as here on earth in this physical body. And so the understanding how to cultivate that bridge, how to unobstruct that bridge, so that flow of information from God to here, as well as us being able to use this inner chi and or emotions, this energy and motion, to receive information from God from within, as well as to receive communication from the outside world in such a way that we're at peace. We're not shaked or shocked so much so that we're unable to respond, but we can actually assess what's happening, and because we're at peace, get insight from God to know how to respond to the situation. So much so to know what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, when to rest. All of our daily activities and lives can be guided by the same intelligence that guides our breathing when we digest foods. So it's just a way of connecting back to that source that guides these things from an energetic perspective, by unobstructing our energy so that we can feel and experience that.
Excellent. Let's go into a little bit about the heart touch therapy. And I believe we touched on it on one of the earlier episodes. But for people who may be new, what is the heart touch therapy and how do you utilize that?
Excellent question once again. So the heart touch therapy is a therapy session that deals with releasing the heaviness of the emotions from the heart. And it's done by simply using acupressure, massage, in which we commonly call accusage, put those two together, acupressure, massage, Reiki, and tapping, as well as a little meditation and aromatherapy and music therapy. And so the idea is through a little touching at the right places on the body, through proper breathing, just setting the mood, very intimate mood, one is actually able to release some of the heaviness of the emotions, whether it be fear, worry, sadness, grief, and at the same time, because one is lightened from the emotion, it has an effect on the physical body as well. More movement, more range of motion. There's just a host. The results is multidimensional, is infinite, the experiences that come about, because we're all different. And just imagine what would happen if this bag of emotions or stress or thinking that you've looked to get rid of but have an issue with, sit down for 45 minutes, we can assist with lightening that load with the heart touch therapy and just experience what does that feel like. So that's what the heart touch therapy does.
Excellent. What does that help with any type of physical ailments as well?
Yes, absolutely. Because generally speaking, as they say, stress can kill.
Yes.
And what happens with that is that we have these thoughts that are not high vibrating, that was called low vibration. Some people call it negative, but my person like to distinguish positive and negative are both needed, like the yin and the yang, the electricity. You have a positive and a negative side.
Right.
One is not greater than the other because you need both. However, if you're looking at higher and lower vibration, in a sense, happiness, joy, these are more higher vibration emotions versus sadness, depression, lower vibration. And generally speaking, the higher vibrations tend to serve us. So what happens with the heart touch therapy, as we're looking at the stress can kill, we're releasing some of the heaviness, because if we don't release those lower vibrations on a consistent basis, they actually build up and cause physical pain and stiffness and everything, so much that it can cause death. So with the heart touch therapy, releases those things so that, again, it affects the physical body so it doesn't feel the the stiffness, the tension, whatever it was that was called from the stagnant energy, not flowing, just building up like a cesspool.
Yes.
You know, so the heart touch therapy is a way of detoxing energetically of that cesspool so that one can say, oh, I had a good poop, so to say. You know, the constipation say, oh, I feel much lighter. You know, so my person does that energetically. It says, oh, I had a good poop energetically. So now, you know, wow, when run, just feel lighter. Woo, do everything. So yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, I've personally experienced the heart touch therapy a few times from Master Chef. I've gifted it as well a few times, you know, and everybody really has, myself included, has really given great reviews, has really had a great experience through that. When we've done pop-up health clinics in the past, I've witnessed people come into that service with Master Chef, and you know, they'll come in, then they'll get up out of his chair, and they'll look totally different.
Yeah.
You know, so definitely wanted to big that up and make sure you check that out. There was another question.
Do you still certify people doing heart touch therapy?
Yes, it's a different way now. In fact, Master Aaron Motley, the Breath Master Aaron, he also certifies as well. He was one of the ones that actually my person shared it with and kind of took the ball and ran with. And he actually uses it as a part of his repertoire in healing. It's one of the main things that he uses as well. So if anyone wants to learn that, we can actually share that information on how to use that. Just a little bit of information also. The heart touch therapy is like part of the service package as a committed medical, as a warrior priest. My person has various ways of assisting individuals. The services like to call fine dining. Get service of heart touch therapy, some consultations, discussions, oracle readings, things like this. And we also have the copper and crystal jewels, which we may call fast food. You know, you grab something on the go. Even the emotional wellness workbook. You know, something that you can download, Kindle off Amazon, and or get the hard copy. Again, it's on the website. And then for those who want to actually cultivate, who feel as though it's in their destiny to go hard for God in such a way that to become a disciple in such a way, we can work with them to understanding really how to cultivate that through daily life care self-practices. So we work with you to understanding how to cultivate this bridge and how to show up, how to go from a child to a man of God. So there's many dimensions and aspects on we assist individuals, whether it be the direct path, what we call ascension, at some point, like Enoch and Elijah, for those familiar with the Bible, can just leave without the traditional form of death, which is very heavy in a sense, we call ascension, and or for someone, again, who just want to just have more peace on this plane while they walk and just go at everything you go and just have just more peace. So those are the multidimensional aspects of how my person serves humanity.
Excellent. And the last question just came to me, and it's going back to talking about meditation. And how do you work with people with meditation? Because it's one thing, you know, a lot of people hear meditation, hear about it, they work, work to do it on their own, or sometimes they seek guidance on that. But a lot of the things that we tend to hear a lot is that people, they don't know how to meditate, or they may try to meditate, but something's always in the way, and those kind of things like that.
Yeah.
So, one of the aspects, and I know we've worked together, I've referred people your way and vice versa, but I specifically refer a lot of people to you in working with meditation and helping them to recognize how they can do that on their own without the constant mental noise, so to speak.
Right.
So I wanted to ask you that question. How do you work with people on helping them with meditation?
Yes, two things. First, remind them that we all meditate in some shape or form or fashion throughout the day. Yes, and the second thing is that practice makes perfect. And so we start with, we all meditate, in which we suggest that anytime there is something, you have an experience, something comes up, and it captures your attention, and you say, wait a minute, there's something happening. Slow down and think about this, get some clarity. Just need to concentrate on one thing, and that's really all meditation is. It's concentrated and focused on generally one specific thing. All of your energy, your total being, is right here, right now on this one thing specifically. Some people do it riding down the road, you know, with the music on and just thinking, you know. Some people go for a walk, you know, just think, clear my head a bit. You know, these are all forms of meditation. Exercise, yoga, various ways to incorporate movement with meditation. So in essence, it's just a way of saying, how could I concentrate on this one thing and gain clarity about it? You know, go inside to get insight on how to deal with the situation. And a lot of times, when it comes to, say, formal meditation or official meditation, where you want to light the incense and get the candle going, dim the lights, you know, set the mood. Because again, life is very intimate, and the intimacy starts with self. And the more intimate we are with self and our higher self and lower self, then the more the relationship builds and becomes stronger. So as we set the mood, set the intention, you know, to get quiet, to have a conversation, intimate conversation with self, what may happen is that those things that we do not wish to think about may come up. So one person takes individuals who are having that issue in the very beginning, is just to remind them to just focus on the breath. Just don't look at what the situation, the issue is that you're looking to change, get rid of, move about, but just simply sit down and see how many times I can breathe in through the nose as the lower stomach expands, feel the air coming in, and then see what it feels like to have this air in the body, and then breathe it out the mouth, fully releasing, feeling the air leave the body, and the stomach going back in. So just being mindful of the mechanics of breathing in and of itself will actually brings one mind to what one is doing in the now. And of course, practice makes perfect, because even in doing that exercise, the mind would tend to think about those things that is right here.
Right.
And so my person gives a prescription, do 3 to 5 breaths. You know, 3 to 5 breaths, just start with that and just focus on just the technicality of breathing. And over time, a week, 2 weeks, you will notice that you can go beyond 3 to 5 breaths, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And those things that were beginning to come up to distract you are no longer there, because we're actually just slowly taking time with self to retrain the body on just simply how to breathe, to relax and to release. Just by breathing in through the nose, out of the mouth, focusing on it, and practice makes perfect. Over time, one begins to see, wow, you know, everyone goes throughout the day, they're more peaceful. Things that used to irritate them, not as much anymore. You know, so that's how my person just says, hey, just start where you are, understanding what it is, and, you know, 3 to 5 breaths a day.
Spiritual exercise, y'all.
Yeah.
You know, and it's important. It's good to work with someone, you know, like Master Reshep too. I'm just injecting my own personal opinion, observation, experience in there, because a lot of times, even though he just told you what it is that he does, you know, we still need those reminders when we're going through the process.
Right.
No matter how much that, you know, we may have the intellectual knowledge that we are of what we're supposed to do. The intellectual knowledge and the practical application a lot of times can be two different things. And to have somebody who is experienced, who knows what to look for, who knows when to send those reminders to you, you know, to have that communication back and forth, and to just have the space, you know. Master Shep also holds like a very peaceful space. And, you know, it's important to have that peaceful space as well, so you don't feel like you have to watch it back every 3 seconds. You know what I mean? Because a lot of, I've worked with a few people, and we've, you know, collectively worked with a few people who have been traumatized and who have gone through experiences where they do feel that way. You know, so that's where it would definitely be beneficial to get with someone like Master Reshep, or to get with Master Shep, you know, specifically, actually.
Right on.
You know, so we have him here on this program as part of the initiative, which he is also the founder or co-founder of the Collective Health Initiative.
Yes.
So we give thanks for your presence, for your dedication of many years of doing this work, of you know, putting it out there for the people and making it accessible.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big thing, because a lot of people, for the same things that he may offer, they may want to charge you $150, $200.
Right.
You know, and without going into his whole pricing scheme, is definitely not that. So check him out, and we're going to take a brief moment to touch on, and I'll let Master Vashep, introduce this or reintroduce this, talk about the Love Yourself to Life Challenge before we go into Precious Mother Love and all that she has to offer. So I'm definitely looking forward to this conversation also.
Right on, right on. Yes, indeed. Love Yourself to Life Challenge. So what that challenge looks like is just what it says. Love yourself to life. We're all about high vibration of words here. So the challenge is for anyone who has a particular issue, condition, no matter what it is that you've had for either a long time or a short time, but feel as though you haven't had the necessary information to remedy that, to bring yourself back to a life of wholeness and wellness. We just like to extend the challenge to put your holistic HMO to the test. Again, the purpose of your holistic HMO is to provide a plethora, a buffet, if you will. A person like using these food terms. We like to eat, most of us, at least somebody we have to eat, but nonetheless, a buffet. You go to a buffet, just imagine those who go to your favorite buffet restaurant who have been there in the past. Some of these vegans don't go to much many buffets anymore, but in the past, there's so much food that to choose from, and we all have our favorites. And so we like to present with you a buffet of experiences from each of us that is just natural. We just share with you how to naturally get back to connecting with the essence of who you are. And the challenge is if you're looking to just make some serious lifestyle changes, because the idea is where we find ourselves in today, all of us, is a result of certain lifestyle choices that we have made. And wherever we are, generally speaking, if we would like to make a 180 change, we need to make 180 choices. So the Love Yourself to Life Challenge is a challenge to those who wish to expand and expound upon what they know about health, and challenge us to assist you with just bringing that to the forefront in a holistic way.
Indeed. So check out the upcoming episodes of the Health Class You Never Had. Every Monday, again at 11 a.m., we'll be announcing the winner of that challenge, or the selected individual who will get the opportunity to work with us all on one of the upcoming episodes. And to contact you, Master Vashep, and also to enter the challenge, what's the contact information?
Cool. For my person, the website is Soul Healing, SOL healing.org, as well as Facebook, Instagram, Soul Healing ORG. But the website can access all of that. And that's for the Collective Health Initiative. You follow us on Facebook, the Collective Health Initiative group. There's information about the Challenge Yourself to Life contest, and also on our webpage, iamit.me/IamHealth. So those are the ways to contact my person and the Collective Health Initiative. And also just as a direct contact with those who maybe send a text or something, the direct phone number is area code 281-905-8556. Again, that's 281-905-8556.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Master Vashep. So now we're going to shift the focus to Precious Mother Love. And I have a more formal bio to read to introduce her. So Precious Mother Love is a sacred arts curator and is a serial entrepreneur. She has been so since the age of 5 years old. She's been making jewelry since 9 years old. She is now focusing on her latest, called Love Plus Art Equals Wellness. She is a trained arts instructor since the age of 14. She's a published poet and photographer, as well as a published musician and vocalist since the 2nd grade. Music submitted for a movie soundtrack. She is performing in a play traveling this summer. She's certified as an ambassador for the American Diabetes Association. She is a trained ninja, trained in heart touch therapy from Master Vashep, certified by the state of Maryland as having precognitive abilities, aka as a psychic. And she also has a band, a performing band called the Mother Love Experience, which I've gotten to see once or twice myself. You know, they get it in.
That's right.
So,
Little DC flavor, homegrown.
hey, that's what it is.
Well, speaking of the flavor, okay, go-go is back on the map to a degree, but it has the heartbeat. The Congo is something that DC clubs for a while wouldn't allow you to have in their clubs because they were banning go-go. PG County as well, they were closing clubs down and stuff like that. I had not indicated that I wanted to speak on this, but I just want y'all to know that the drum speaks. The Africans that I've spoken to, that have spoken to me, you know the drum speaks.
Oh, yeah.
They say that they relate to our music. I mean, you know, Genghis took his band to Ghana, and they were grooving, and the sisters was on the stage having at it. It was so beautiful. I cried because I was raised in go-go. So anyway, so my band has a little bit of that flavor. But the music that I've submitted for the movie doesn't. First off, I want to shout out that thank you, Grandma, for starting me to make this jewelry at a very, very young age. She had me repairing her stuff, stringing pearls for her, fixing things that she needed, you know, and giving me the tool. I'm like 5 years old. I didn't start actually making jewelry. First, I started repairing jewelry. So I started making jewelry at 9, where it was, my parents had bought me jewelry making kits. They bought me the set that you would have that you would use to tumble your rocks and stuff. So I was doing that from a young age. But I started doing copper. Well, this is something that Master Shep had spoken to me about years ago. He was, you know, he had actually designed one of his first pieces was just like this one he's wearing now. But what he had said was, you know, you ought to try this. And so, because I was already making jewelry, and I started learning about the stones, and it started making sense to me. And so it became, and I want to shout out Natasha's Wearable Art. She actually indicated, you know, since you can't do gold and silver anymore, which is how I started, that why don't you use copper? Because it's easy to, you know, because I had started having some trouble with my hands. I had been making jewelry for so long, I started getting arthritis. But it also was a residual from something that I was healed from, the arthritis was. I was healed from an episode of a blood disorder. And a doctor, I want to shout him out too, Dr. Charles Franklin. Everybody I knew used to go to him. But he ended up being a praying doctor. He sat there and, you know, in any case, let's say long story short, I've seen lots of healings. He had actually helped me to open my eyes to what our possibilities were. I've seen people have their have bones straightened in 15 minutes. I've seen 4 different times people healing their bones that were broken or fractured in 3 days. I've also seen a person that I accompanied to the physician who had a broken neck, 2 broken shoulder blades, several broken ribs. In 30 days, he was healed. So I actually began my wellness quest as a child. My grandmother, I have 4 grandmothers, you know, marriages, second marriages and things, took me under her wing, and she actually had me going to pick our own produce, you know, from family farms and from local farms.
Excellent.
My mom raised me pretty much as a vegetarian, because we not only grew our own vegetables, but my mom was into this healthy thing. You know, it was a big thing when she was in the 60s and 70s. Actually, she was a flower child, right? So she got into a lot of the healthy things and relayed that to me. But my stepmother got me into mental telepathy. And that is something that, as I said, you know, the state of Maryland was able to certify.
So let me ask you 2 things. One, how did she get you into mental telepathy?
Oh, she started giving me books that I did not know. You know, the Art of Healing, the Back to Eden, and books like that. And so once I had started reading and absorbing those things, I guess she thought I was ready. But she actually had a conversation with me, tete-a-tete, mind to mind. And eventually, like, her other children also had these talents, and one of her children could actually appear and disappear, and that's something really I don't talk about too much on public access. But just to say that there are some things I have seen and witnessed firsthand that have now allowed me to pass on some of what I've learned in helping others to heal, because it has a lot to do with your mindset.
Definitely.
You have to know that you are, like, the law of attraction brings you a lot of more of what you feel than what you think. Because you, in order to line up with it, the vibration has to be in sync. You have to be it, know it, see it, feel it, taste it, touch it. You know, in your mind, just like Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, they did things that allowed them to do like a muscle memory thing. They would just do it in their mind over and over and over again. It was not even a physical thing, but it was something that helped their game and helped them to keep their mental focus on point. So that's what I do. I basically coach people through getting into the feeling of that vibration, so that, like, for instance, last week I had a bout with the flu. I mean, I did have a knee issue, Doc, but I didn't want to tell anybody that I was also suffering from what I felt were the beginning symptoms of the flu. And so I went through my scenario where, you know, a lot of self-care. I mean, like on fast forward turbo. Not for 3 days, but in 24 hours, I had basically kicked it out to the point where it was manageable. You know, it was not acute any longer. It was, you know, at a level where I could still function properly and just continue to nourish myself with smoothies like from here at ELife. I mean, I just took over the self-care. That became the focus, and that's what I help others to do with my workshops. I do a monthly full moon service where we go through meditations. We go through what I call a phoenix ceremony or ritual. I mean, you know, birthday parties are rituals too. So what you do in the morning is a ritual. But what I do is I take you through purging what you no longer want, and then we place it in the fire. And then the phoenix part of it happens after that. I go through a detailed process with you, and I have everyone to, you know, join in who wants to participate. But I do have a couple of years I've been doing this, and I have folks that have been very successful with manifesting,
Nice.
based on, you know, some of the things that I recommend. But
Excellent.
that's what my main thing is to help people to realign with their purpose, their mission, and if they want to be healthy, because they've got to win. I've got to be a trusted advisor to them. They've got to trust me and know that I have their best interest at heart, and want to become a partner with them. That's what I consider your doctors and anyone else, all of us as practitioners. We become a partner with them, a part of their wellness team.
Trust is so important in this process. And I speak to, I was actually just having a conversation with a client last night about that and how important it is, because a lot of times, you know, when we're going through these health and wellness journeys to improving our overall wellness, we solicit advice from doctors or from holistic wellness professionals and service providers, but when they get the advice, they don't follow it. They don't. They're like, okay, well, I'm going to see what this other person has to say or that person has to say.
Second or third
Instead of
opinion.
And
your
it's
work.
so important to make sure that, you know, that relationship is healthy and intact, and you do trust the individual that you are soliciting advice from, so that way you give it the opportunity for it to work. I do want to ask you, Precious Mother Love, what is a sacred arts curator?
Thank you for asking. Okay, it's what I live and do. I bring art to life. And art is a creation process. Art is like, there is a building on Howard University's campus and many other campuses called the Medical Arts Building. So I believe that we can create, and we all are creators, and so in all kinds of artistic ways, I bring out the creator in you. I cultivate, I assist you in becoming a more accurate or more crafty artist in using the tools that I provide. I help you and guide you through. I basically cultivate the God energy in you and help you bring it out and more forth. That's not something that we were really taught to do as a child. I was taught more like church and that God is outside of you, and so I help people to connect to the God in them.
That's
and
important.
and everybody is a creator. People think, you know, well, you can cook and create. You know, the way you dress is a creation. You know, so it's so many ways to be considered, utilizing artistry, life is, I bring art to life. And that's what a sacred arts curator is. And it's all the things that I am, because that's what got me to this place where I could actually tap into.
So how does that work in a therapeutic or healing kind of a benefit?
Okay. Well, I have a boutique. My business called Love Plus Art Equals Wellness. And in my boutique, I have various services that I can offer and package and group. It does include a manifestation meditation, which also we program the words in advance. I'm very technical and do etymology of words and whatnot. So we program the words in advance. I've already done an assessment of what you need. I do a conversation, a counseling conversation, and that's included in everything. I do a chakra reading. I do mandalas, vision board workshops. I offer aqua chi services, which is a part of a detox, which this coming full moon, which I am doing a full moon on March the 8th, we'll be doing the aqua chi service, a Reiki service, chakra cleansing, chakra readings, and this is not just me. We're also doing cleansing breaths. I have a team of people that I offer to help. This is how I got connected with you guys as well, because I felt like I wanted to offer the services that you guys had, and I'm glad that I have you guys as references for whenever I need some, service. In my mind, I figure you guys are the experts to go to, and I have become an expert in, I would say, the mental wellness arena. I have several people in my family and friends and former, exes that have been schizophrenic, bipolar, that have been institutionalized or medicated. As a child, I wanted to be a psychologist. I wanted to be a psychiatrist, but they gave away medication. I didn't like that part. So I started studying those that were around me, sort of firsthand. And so because of those experiences, I've actually helped 2 people come back to their right mind.
All right.
And that's a struggle, but that is a polar. The state of Maryland says that psycho and psychic, these are 2 opposite ends of the pole. And so we all have varying degrees that we are on that pole. So I just happen to be someone who, like this in particular, this sort of headdress helps me to begin to culminate. Well, first off, 100% copper is antibacterial, antifungal. It helps your mental synapses for your brain activity and for your communication. It helps with arthritis. It helps your joints. This is why I started using it. But I found that out by accident. My great-grandparents apparently wore copper bands around their ankles and their wrists. I didn't know that. But how it came to me, like I said, shout out to Natasha Wearable Art. She mentioned it, and since then, like I just wore it to sleep. Because I didn't really, I thought it was therapeutic. Who wears copper jewelry? Nobody wears it out. This was 8 to 10 years ago. And so now, well, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. But now I see some major benefits from it. And like I said, including in helping you to have more mental clarity, to be able to think, focus on, and elevate to higher dimensions when you're meditating, which I also offer in my meditations, which I do a guided meditation where you can actually use some of my tools. Some of my necklaces actually will double as a piece that you can wear on your head, and you can put any of the charms or any of the stones that you have, you want to put those on. But these also are tools that are external that we can actually, at some point, you may no longer need. If you've seen, on Harry Potter, sometimes they use something that looks like this. And this is actually made of the wood that they used in the movie.
Wow.
From the kind of tree that they use in the movie to make the wands. But sometimes you can just use your intent, intensely enough. Your attention and your attention and intention. Did I say that right? Attention
Yes, indeed.
and intention. When you put those together, that's the magic, baby. You can be on fire with your law of attraction, with the way that you can just move and smoothly operate. Like I use a chef as an example because I saw him one time at some point, and this is when he first started wearing his crystal on his head, and he was a bike courier, and he would zoom through the streets like he was on a string being pulled through, and you know, that's the kind of thing that I'm saying that this actually helps you stay on point, to stay on target, to keep your focus, to keep your thoughts, and you know, I have people that testify by it, even my family members, friends, folks, clients, return clients over the years.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and I'll just speak to a little bit of my experience with Precious Mother Love. One, I've seen her do artistic jewelry making workshops with children, you know, at a camp. Everybody loved it first and foremost, you know, and you can tell when the children are engaged, you know, and they're not easily engaged by non-computerized things or digitalized things these days, you know, but those type of things are important for them to have to be able to hone their skills and even utilize part of their intelligence that often is not utilized. But I've seen them actively engaged, really loving what it was that they created, proud of it, you know, proud to wear it out, and how that even just boosted the self-esteem. And then I've also bought a copper bracelet from Precious Mother Love, and as a drummer,
I think we bartered for that. We exchanged.
yes,
Yes, and that's often what we like to do.
yes. So, you know, but I got the copper bracelet. Definitely helped out with some of the stiffness that I was feeling at that time, and I wore it for a good portion of time until I didn't really need it anymore, but I still have it around. But I know our time is short.
I want to tell people how to reach me.
Yes,
Love
that's what I
plus
was
art
going to.
equals wellness. Every handle, Instagram, Facebook, and so on. Also on YouTube, I have a 6-part series called 5 Words of Wellness. Look me up on YouTube. Love plus art equals wellness.
One more time.
Love plus art equals wellness. And Mom's Wellness Wagon if you want to really push it, but that's one of my other businesses.
All right. Love plus art equals wellness. Spell it out just for people who may need this spelling.
LOVE, the plus sign, ART, the equal sign, wellness, WELLNESS.
Excellent, excellent. And any events coming up?
The full moon event is coming up on March the 8th. You can check my Instagram and YouTube.
Excellent. And look out for, again, the Love Yourself to Life Challenge on Facebook. You can find us at the Collective Health Initiative Group. That's our group page. We also have Collective Health Initiative page, which you can like on Facebook to follow us with our different events that we have coming up and initiatives. We are available for pop-up clinics and different events, health educational events and service events. We do offer vending, and we also will be part of the ELife Health Series coming up. That's
right.
Starting in April. I want to say it's third Saturday.
Yeah.
Every third Saturday of the month, starting in April, going until September. We will be part of that, so we'll have more specific information in the next broadcast or two.
Catch us Monday. What's our name?
The
health
class you never had.
So everyone have a wonderful week, and we look forward to interacting with you the next go around. Peace and blessings.
Love and wellness.